Oh my god, what am I doing? Hi, welcome to Just Thinking Out Loud. I'm Desi-Rae.
What's up, guys? Sean here from the Actual Justice Warrior YouTube channel.
Surprise! I have a special guest, Sean, who runs the channel Actual Justice Warrior, and we're doing, in this video, part 2 of our takedown of the Young Turks commentary on why Saturday Night Live is hiring conservatives like Shane Gillis.
Just so you know, you are watching part 2 of our collaboration on this Young Turks video. If you want to see part 1, check the link in the description box of this video, check the iCard. Basically, anywhere you think Desi would put the link to part 1 of this video, it's probably there. Check it, go over to my channel, watch part 1, then come back here for part 2 to see it all conclude. It's beautiful, beginning, middle, end, wonderful. Check it out.
Again, it's not saying you can't ever make fun of this group of people. It's just that you can't get upset when the joke doesn't land. People don't find it funny. And some people are like, it just seems like you were punching down for the sake of punching down. There was really no joke there.
Anna's not saying that you can't make the joke, but what she's saying is that she's gonna criticize the hell out of you and demand that you be fired if the joke doesn't line up with her sensibilities. Because freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom from consequences or whatever justification these authoritarians use in order to enforce their religious dogmatic morality on the rest of society.
So that's my point. So I don't know that Shane Gillis should have been fired. We have a poll on it, don't we?
Yeah, we do. So if you want to participate in this poll, share your thoughts on this story, you can go to tyt.com/SNL. And the question is, was SNL right to fire Shane Gillis?
Now, finally, to get back to the conservatives who are funny, I haven't seen one yet.
I just thought that this was a wonderful example of bias towards oneself. I still don't really have context. It looks like they just read the quotes. Jenkins saying that, oh, he guessed that something is funny because it didn't seem malicious. But they read quotes. They don't actually know what the entire context of the podcast was. I'm gonna have a different take on this than most people because I don't do comedy. I don't really watch it. I only go like if my friends are going. So most of it isn't really funny to me at all. And a big part of that is because it's always talking about super sensitive social topics such as race and gender. When I've gone to stand-up comedy in the US, I'm not from here, and I saw that, I was like, is this what people think is funny? Because it's like they always have to go back to these topics for some reason, and in my mind I'm like, can't you be more creative? And this has nothing to do with what side of the political spectrum you're on. Even though I'm saying that I don't watch comedy, I understand that the purpose of comedy is to release tension. It's a social place where you can finally discuss things that you won't discuss in polite conversation, and you do it through a joke. So I think that's the reason why comedy tends to veer in that direction, because America is so uptight that now they have to use comedy in order to release some of that tension. And I think depending on what side of the political spectrum you're on, you will find certain jokes funny or not funny.
Like SJW bashing is just boring at this point. It's so repetitive. And also comedy was meant to, it was a way to poke fun at people in positions of power. And like the comedy that goes after disenfranchised groups who have no power at all, it's just not funny for some people. And you can't get mad and put yourself in a position of victimhood because some people don't find that funny.
When Anna Kasparian, who does not love comedy, was saying that comedy's purpose is to poke fun at the people who are in power, I thought that was interesting for 2 reasons. The first one is that I don't think that comedy's purpose is to poke fun at the people who are in positions of power. I think the purpose of comedy is to make people laugh, however you do that. Again, this narcissism thing about what they think is funny is what everybody else should think is funny. And then the second thing I thought was interesting was that they're talking about punching down and not poking fun at people who have it tough. And yet, I still don't really understand this guy's content. Like, I don't understand the personality behind it. It's just a story to them. And if you go a bit deeper into that, the second thing that I find interesting is that you could say that the people who have power are the ones who can cancel an entire person's career over jokes that they're making. I do believe in the adage that it's who you're not allowed to criticize are the ones that actually have power. And so they're saying that, oh, this guy's punching down, but I wouldn't say that he has power because he was canceled. That's what just happened to him.
I completely agree. It's ridiculous for the Young Turks to claim that Shane Gillis is the person in power, considering just digging up some of his old podcasts, cutting some clips out of context was enough to get him fired from his job at SNL. Clearly, the far left, the reactionary left, the left that doesn't want you to say anything that offends their sensibilities, have the power in this situation, because if they didn't have the power, then Shane Gillis would be enjoying himself on Saturday Night Live.
And also, comedy was meant to, you know, it was a way to poke fun at people in positions of power. And like the comedy that goes after disenfranchised groups who have no power at all, it's just not funny.
Also, I don't think anybody's really disenfranchised in this day and age in the West, in the United States. And I don't like that she uses this word. I don't like that they're just like portraying people as victims all the time. That is not the modern day world. Let's go look up the definition of disenfranchisement. From the Cambridge English Dictionary, disenfranchised is not having the right to vote or a similar right or having had that right taken away, or having no power to make people listen to your opinion or to affect the society you live in. They mentioned blacks and Latinos. It's completely erroneous to use the word disenfranchised, the vote one, and also the second one, because everybody is listening. They have Netflix shows called Dare White People. The New York Times promotes these horrible op-ed pieces that are from the supposedly disenfranchised victim groups bashing the rest of society. Their voice and their opinion does affect society, so that's garbage.
It's hard to play the victim and pretend that you are the disenfranchised one when you have virtually every media outlet on your side, when you have all of the major social media companies doing your bidding based on your exact ideology. Shane Gillis was hired, according to the producer of SNL, as a way to reach across the aisle and get more viewership from conservatives. He was fired before he filmed a single sketch for SNL, which means that the people at SNL who knew who he was, they did their digging into him. They decided that this was somebody who was talented. They knew he was a conservative. They wanted him on board. They wanted him to join their team. Their decision was overridden by the outrage from the supposedly disenfranchised side. From your side, the cry bullies.
To conclude, I think these people are narcissistic and biased towards themselves. And I also think it's really weird, this idea of groups being disenfranchised and trying to make those associations with groups and saying that they're victims and that I guess they're the saviors, like trying to like defend these poor oppressed groups. Yeah, I think it's pretty gross. I think it's good that Saturday Night Live is trying to reach out to a more conservative audience and not just focusing on the liberals. So that's what I think of what they had to say. And Anna Kasparian does not have a love for comedy.
I just want to say thank you so much to Desi-Rae Thinking for joining me on this collaboration, for doing part 1 on my channel and allowing me to come on her channel to finish up part 2. I'm sure if you guys want to check me out, she'll put the links everywhere you need to see it. So I hope that some of you will join me over there.
Thank you for watching. I hope you like this collab. You can go find Sean by searching for Actual Justice Warrior. He's also on Twitter as well. You can find him there. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.